Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse Sawyer. I am a realtor and rental property manager here in Victoria. Before I was a realtor, I managed condos all over Victoria. And today, part of my business is helping people buy and sell condos because I have a good sort of insight into how they work. Today, I would like to talk about what I would call the second phase of my buyer process, and that is the action phase. This is when you're out and looking at places and making offers and negotiating deals. Now, I have a three-part buyer process, and the first part has a lot to do with education. And the reason being is the second part, when you're out and making offers on properties, it can be difficult. Hopefully, it's not. And we really try to, part of my job is try to make it as easy and stress-free as possible. But the truth is that when you're buying a home, for a lot of people, this is one of the most, if not the most expensive purchase they will ever make or ever have made up to that point, and there's a lot on the line and it can be stressful. So I wanted to go through a little bit of what you should expect during that process. And I hope it kind of gives you a sense of why I recommend being as well prepared as you can ahead of time. So first thing is, if you end up in a multiple offer situation, that can be stressful. You're trying not to overpay, but you're also trying to get the place, and you don't know what those other offers are. Um, and so right there, that's a tough one. You're trying to get a sense of, yeah, what's to offer, what makes sense for you. You don't want to regret it if you lose it, and you don't want to get it and then regret it. You don't want to wake up a week later and say, man, I overpaid for this place. So getting a place when you're in a multiple offer situation without overpaying, yeah, that can be a tough one. You're making big decisions with not a lot of time. So that can be tough. Another part of the buyer process is it can be very sort of get up and go. You're keeping an eye out, you're looking for what's out there, and all of a sudden the right one comes along. And you drop everything, you get out there, and chances are, if it's the right place for you, it's the right place for somebody else, or maybe two or three other parties. And then again, now you're in multiple. So maybe you expected a quiet weekend to yourself, and all of a sudden you're in it. And that's just part of the process. That's just part of the fun of buying a house. Um, During the negotiation process, some animosity can develop. I really try to avoid that and remind people to stay sort of unemotional about the process. But, for example, one thing I've seen is when the seller is being picky or they're being nitpicky, you're negotiating a very expensive contract and they're going on about, small things like, well, if I'm going to give you this price decrease, like, I want to keep the coffee table. And fair enough, that's their right. that's their that's their stuff, and they're allowed to say whatever they like during the negotiation process. And at the same time, it can be like, man, we're talking about $800,000 here, and you're going on about your coffee table. Like, it just doesn't feel good. So that can happen sometimes. The other thing is that there's can be a sense of competition. Like, I want to get this, and I want to get my price, even though you know maybe if you weren't in that situation, realistically for you, this place would make sense at this price and maybe even more. You say, I want to get this at this price, and that's the game, and it becomes a game. But maybe it becomes a game for the other people too, and they want to get the most. And fair enough, people can approach the process however they like. However, again, when you're getting emotional about it, sometimes it's just not very useful for what you're actually trying to do, which is find a new home. That's how I would say that. So again, trying to stay unemotional about it, which is hard because it's a major purchase. Another one is just that unexpected stuff can happen. I think the number one thing I would say here is just expect the unexpected. When you're looking at a house, you're starting to learn about it, and sometimes you get a bit of a halo effect, which is like, wow, everything about this house is perfect, and it's got this, and it's got this, and it's got this, and I'm so excited, and I love it so much. And then you start to find out things that are not great about it, because this is reality. And you go through the strata documentation, and you see that the place might need a new roof in 3 years. And well, how much is that going to cost? And you bring in an inspector, and you say, oh, there's an old evidence of an old water leak here, and oh, is that going to happen again? And is there mold in the walls, and et cetera, and et cetera. So part of the due diligence process is things coming up that are unexpected. And it can be with regards to the unit, factors that affect the unit, like the neighborhood, or just straight out of the blue stuff that don't have anything to do with the unit and just present challenges. So that's the number one thing, is keep that in mind. Expect the unexpected. I would say another one would be, and I touched on it earlier, but that you sometimes have to make large decisions with not a lot of time. You have your costs. So, you've got your purchase transfer tax. This changes based on the purchase transfer tax changes based on the amount of the cost of the unit. So I'm not going to give you an exact number, but for a lot of times it's around 2%. The more expensive a house gets, that number can go up. But it's usually around 2% of the cost of a house that you pay for it, or really the fair market value that you pay for it. So expect that. You have the cost of your lawyers, cost of arranging a mortgage if you need one, cost of movers, et cetera, and cleaners if you end up going down that route. So these things can definitely add up. So there are costs involved. Um, and this is just a short list of kind of what I came up with off the top of my head. So there can definitely be more things that come up. So long and the short of it is expect the unexpected, and go in there, possibly expecting a ride. You kind of hope for the best and plan for the worst. With all that said, you know, like I said, a lot of good things in life can be stressful. So the week before a vacation can be stressful, trying to get everything ready. Planning a wedding can be difficult and stressful. Having a child, that can definitely be stressful. But I think most would agree these are all great things. They're just big things and important things, and sometimes getting them done can be stressful. So there are actually three celebrations that I like to have with people. So the first celebration is when you get that accepted offer. Like, wow, we beat out the competition. We've got it hopefully at a place that we like. And in most cases, if we like it, we can have it now. And that's an exciting time. The next sort of celebration is when you remove conditions. Like, wow, I'm going to take this place. This place is mine. Like, that's pretty exciting. And then of course, when you actually get possession, and the money changes hands, you get title, you get your new keys, and you get to walk in and look at your new home. And that's an exciting moment for a lot of people. And a lot of the stress of the negotiation and all that kind of stuff has kind of gone away at that point. You've had maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months to just kind of relax and breathe. You've done your due diligence on the property, so you basically know what to expect. And now you get to walk in and take possession of your new home. And that can be an exciting moment. That's definitely worthy of a celebration. So I hope I haven't scared anybody away. I hope that is useful in letting you know what you can expect. I hope it's been helpful. And we'll see you next time.